Welcome to Straight from the Muzzle, folks, where we're anything but straight. My name is Space.
And I'm Dear.
And we welcome to our episode, which is about what today?
How graphic design is my passion.
Yes. As you guys may have noticed, like over the years since Straight from the Muzzle, well, since we converted from our original show for media to Straight from the Muzzle, STFM has kind of gone through some upgrades over time in both profile pictures, banners, and then our overall look. So Dear Dog is basically our main graphic designer. Mm-hmm. Well, you're kind of like the only one. Everyone else does graphic arts or draws, but they're not as like centered as you are. You're more familiar with the look and the vibe and how things work. And so whenever it comes to like thumbnails, I always go to Dear first because she just knows. And I could just throw an idea at her and she'll come back with something.
Yeah. And to be fair, you make the majority of thumbnails yourself, which I think is quite fun.
I do. It's not amazing. I use a program called Canva. There's like a handful of other programs. They're all like differently named, but they all use the same source. And it's fun, but for specific types of thumbnails that I want like a really good look for, I go straight
episodes
to Dear Dog.
And whatever. Or if it's a special episode, or if he needs custom artwork, then I'm your gal. Here I am.
I kind of want to use the picture of your first slide as the thumbnail. But I feel like if I ask you to do a thumbnail, you'll come up with something that's unique.
Yeah, listen, if you want me to make a purposefully bad-looking thumbnail, I can make a purposefully bad-looking thumbnail.
Yes.
They're all going to wonder now what this first slide looks like.
Okay, so how we build notes, everyone on the team builds notes in a completely different way. I have never seen anyone do it the same way as someone else. Sparrow builds her notes very like articulated and it's perfectly lined out and you know what we're going to be talking about. Paradox does his notes kind of a little scrambly. I do my notes, but my notes are kind of like my thought processes. Like if I'm doing like a guest interview, I write the note out as if I'm talking to the person at that time. So I say like, hey, what's this, blah, blah, blah. And then, or, oh, I hear that you were doing this and blah, blah, blah. Like, this is the question. So the way I write notes is like literally directly from my head onto the notes. And the way Dear Dog does her notes.
Well, so important to add, everyone else does it on a Google Doc.
Yeah, we use Google Docs for the most part.
Not me, though.
No.
I use Google Slides.
Yeah.
I do it PowerPoint style.
Which I've been wanting to try because it's really interesting because PowerPoints are pretty cool if you use them the right way. And Dear Dog doesn't use it in the traditional way. She does it differently. And so every time I look at her slides, and she never gives me the file to look at it until like the day of recording. So I have no idea what I'm going to see.
I'm a shy guy.
What was it? There was one episode that we did. I can't remember what it was, but you didn't want to like participate in it, but you gave me the slides for it. So.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Smash or Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even those slides were pretty good. These are all our but she sent me like a screenshot of like this first page and I'm just like, damn, okay, we're gonna have a good time.
For those who are in the know, if you know the graphic design is my passion image with the frog, it's a pretty famous image. I took that and just started using the shape tool over it and had a great time.
I mean, it straightly like looks like it was created out of like paint.
Yeah, dude.
Microsoft Paint meets like Microsoft Word or something.
Yeah, I was real proud of those speech bubbles.
Yeah.
I really like it.
So with the design in general, because this is more or less Dear Dog's forte, Dear Dog's going to be taking over for this particular episode, and I'll bump in like once in a while. While I try to dabble in some things, I generally don't try to mess with the design as much anymore. I let Dear Dog take care of that, and then she creates like transparents that I can then use in thumbnails later on. But I'm going to let you take over, and then I'll pop in where I can.
Okay.
It's all on you. Pressure.
Oh, no.
Pressure.
Scary.
Oh, no.
Spooky, scary. Oh, God.
So spooky.
So you actually approached me
a year ago?
Earlier last year, right? I don't know. I couldn't remember when exactly, but I know at some point last year you approached me being like, hey, we should redo our design work.
Yeah.
And I said no. is the fun thing about that. Is I was like, no, I really like our current icon. I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. I hated the banners because I made those and they're ancient. They're my ancient banners and I hate them. They were disgusting. Respectfully. I thought they were bad, but that's only because I know I could do better. But I tend to get a little, I don't know, self-conscious. I get a little nervous about doing graphic design work because I don't feel like it's necessarily my strongest area. I'm more of an illustrator these days than a graphic designer, even though my degree is in graphic design. But I also just did really like that, like our previous icon that we had. I thought it was really nice. It was by Marlowe. Is that right?
Marlowe, yeah.
Marlowe, yes. And I thought they did a fantastic job. I really liked it. But then I ended up thinking about it and I thought about it for a few months. And then something hit me and suddenly I messaged Space one day like, never mind, I'm going to do it.
Right. And I was like, yes. I was actually kind of like bummed because like I had thought, we haven't changed our look for a really long time. It might be nice to do a redo. Yeah. And when you're like, no, and I'm like, oh, all right. Well, maybe let's not focus on this right now. So I just moved on. But when you came back and said yes, I'm like, all right, let's go for it.
I just had to cook. I just had to think about it a little bit. It's fine. I think it was also just, I feel like our brand was really
solid.
No, not that. No, if anything, the other way. It was really inconsistent previously.
Oh, yeah, it was.
Like nothing matched. We were all kind of just like, some places had one banner, some places had another old banner. Once again, all old, all like anciently made by me. Some places had like various random doodles I'd done. Some had like, the actual icon made by Marlowe. So yeah, it needed some work. It wasn't very professional. It looked a little all over the place. So we decided to go for it, and it was actually really fun. I'm glad we did. So basically, pretty quickly, I mean, we ended up setting, first of all, I was like, I need a deadline. I need a deadline because I work best when I have a deadline looming over me. Which
I never give her a deadline. No, unless I'm doing thumbnails, and I'm like, I need it by like 2 weeks from now.
But I'm a little suspected ADHD brained, I'm a little unmedicated. And therefore, I kind of need that looming deadline in order to lock in and get shit done.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, of course. Okay, everyone's allowed to swear.
Nice. I forgot. I haven't been on an episode in ages. In order to log in and get shit done, I need a deadline. So we decided New Year. We said New Year, new start. It'll be fun. It'll be fresh. It'll be good. Yeah. And then we started talking about ideas.
The ideas were interesting because I had ideas, you had ideas, but we couldn't really find like a center, balance between the two ideas. I'm trying to remember what the ideas. I had one that was more like retro futuristic.
Yes, because I think I was torn originally because obviously since the for media days, I think you mentioned it was quite a futuristic kind of vibe you were going for then.
Yeah.
But also I think when you were doing Straight from the Muzzle as like a segment on for media, I know this is a fucking reach. It was a very old radio vibe.
Yeah, it was.
And then we also had our old mascot from For Media, broadcast, who was very show presenter vibe, It was like a presenter, had a microphone, was a cool guy. We loved it. So I was like, should I lean back into those? Because that seems like the kind of core brands that we like, which I didn't end up doing, but that's the point of the ideas phase. It's you get all your crazy ideas out and then you can reel them in and make something manageable. That's the point. So I think what we considered, because I wrote it down, was I'd been considering futuristic cyberpunk because I know that's a vibe you've liked before.
Yeah.
You've commissioned me for a kind of that vibe of a piece before. It's also something I like doing because I like those kind of pink and teal kind of color palettes. I think they're nice. Vintage radio, I mentioned it before, nod back to our old stuff. And then you'd mentioned retrofuturism as a way to combine those. And I thought that was so cool. But for the life of me, I could not figure out a way to make that work.
Yeah. And I think I found I realized that perhaps what I was thinking wasn't going to correlate how you would interpret that into your art.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing you have with artists, right? You have an idea and then you give it to them and they do their best to kind of create that idea. But not all artists can freely just take the idea and then create something unique and beautiful. And so there had to be a balance, either that or there had to be something completely new that would just totally throw me off. So
yeah. And I'll be honest, at this point, because once again, this was when I was throwing all my like crazy ideas out that I was like, this maybe won't work, but also it's exciting to think about. And it's good to get them out there now, because if we could do them, it'd be cool. So at one point I had the idea when I was like thinking about cyberpunk and this whole radio stuff, I was like, it would be cool if like yearly, like, or not yearly, but for each like season of the podcast, we could like change up the theme, you know? So for one season we have it. And then I was like, that's so much work. Girl, who's going to do all that?
It is
me. I would have to do all that.
Right.
And I don't want to do all that, respectfully.
No.
That's, you know, who, me and what time is the question I had to ask myself. But yeah, at this point, I had a load of Pinterest boards. I had a load of ideas, but I didn't have anything necessarily solid. So I was like, right, I think maybe what we need to do is kind of look at what we have currently, which is Blue's design, which is our mascot. And then maybe we can work from that, because I'd been wanting to give his design a little refresh for a while.
He's needed a refresh.
And he was made by Sparrow originally, right? Sparrow made him.
We've had a couple of redesigns. I think Sparrow made one. Another person made a different design. Mm-hmm. I think you've created characters, but you haven't actually made like an actual reference sheet that's based off of your type of art. Yeah,
and I just thought it would be nice to give him a little freshen up. I think like the original design was freaking gorgeous, but also it's an Anthro Labrador. And I thought it'd be nice to, you know, we're for a podcast, it would be nice to have an Anthro mascot as opposed to like a feral thing. I just thought it'd be fun. I felt like there's more I could do with it. And also some of the face markings, they're so nice. They work so well with like Sparrow's style. They were such a pain with mine because there was a lot of like little face markings and it made the face look really busy because I tend to do like the big eyes and like the simple shapes. And when you've got like too much going on, it just creates like a mess.
It's a hot mess.
Yeah. So I was like, I want to simplify. And my thought was also, respectfully, it would also be if I simplify it and make it like nice and shapy and clean, it would also be kind of easier if people want to make fan art, you know?
Which is what I was thinking. I've often thought it'd be kind of cool if people wanted to make fan art of us, but they didn't have, there's not like a consistent design for the mascot. In fact, I've had some staff and some people be like, do you have like a ref sheet for your mascot? And I'm like, not really, but let me grab you some pieces of artwork. And the thing was, is the pieces of artwork were inconsistent because one was done by Sparrow, one was done by you, one was done by someone else. And so I never really knew what I was going to get back in return because they were so different. I just couldn't get anything consistent.
And that goes back to the brand consistency we mentioned before that was definitely lacking previously.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'll make sure I post the reference sheet in the Telegram before this because I don't think I've posted it in there yet, like the finished one. If anybody would like to make us fan art, we will absolutely feature you if you do. Feel free to send it to our email or social medias or whatever, and we will share that because that'd be so cool and make me very happy.
And you know what? Neat. I'm going to one-up your offer there.
Ooh.
If anyone wants to create art or fan art of us, I might just bring you on as a guest because.
Whoa, there you go.
No, for no reason. I might just have you as a guest on an episode about something. It doesn't have to be an interview with you. You'll just be my co-pilot.
Ooh, there we go. There we go. That's an offer.
Woo.
Woohoo.
Of course, if you're 18 years of older, right? You know? With a restriction.
Yes. Sorry, children.
We love you, but
we love you, no, thank you.
Our government has rules.
And our government has rules, and we have rules personally.
Everyone has.
We have morals, which is so cool.
It's so nice that humans have morals, you know, like
it's
at
crazy.
least most of them.
It's crazy, but yes. So I went ahead and did that, and I did want to keep like the core design the same. You know, I didn't want it to be like a new mascot. I wanted to obviously make it so it's still blue because I think it's so iconic and it's us and I love them and their design is really fun. So I just simplified the markings and basically I did that by just looking at the design being like, okay, what to me feels like the most identifiable markings? Like what markings are on here that feel like they are necessary to kind of view the character and see that is blue, and which ones I think if I removed would still, you know, not really be that noticeable. You'd still be like, that's blue.
Yeah.
So I did things such as I wanted to keep the eye patch over the one eye, like the, not eye patch, but the white patch that's over the one eye, because I think that's really like iconic, you know?
Yeah, it is.
That feels very necessary. Like the white belly, the blue little paws, the white legs. I had a smaller white spot on the back. And of course the green bandana, very important. And his like white on the nose. I did less white on the nose, but I added that in still. And I decided for the ear markings, because the way I draw them, they kind of flop in front of the face. If I have white ear tips on the one side with the white patch over the eye, it all just blends in, if that makes sense.
That does make sense.
It makes it not really readable. So I decided to, instead of doing that, have one ear just be completely blue or blue-green, whatever color you'd say he is.
I don't even know what color that is.
I don't know. It's like a bluey, greeny
like a blue teal, like a green teal.
Like a dark teal kind of color. And then the other ear completely white, just to also balance it out, with the one eye patch. Give it a little asymmetry, but it still feels balanced to me. I like it. It's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I did. I also decided to, because I don't know, did Blue ever have pronouns officially?
No. So Blue doesn't have like a sex, and they don't have pronouns either. It was never really, I mean, I think I maybe have referenced Blue as a him every once in a while.
Like we called him he, him a lot.
Yeah, but he really doesn't have, like I just said, like he, because I'm used to saying that, he doesn't really have like a specific set of pronouns.
No, because
he's whatever you want him to be.
Yeah, but I wasn't sure because it wasn't written on there. But I know that I've always kind of, I think, referred to Blue as he, him. But I was like, I'm gonna make sure to make a note of the fact that they use any pronouns,
Yeah.
They could be whatever, because it doesn't feel right to kind of assign them a gender, when we're such a diverse team. And that's a big part of it, is that we are like a very diverse team, and Blue's meant to represent all of us.
Exactly.
And we're a bunch of queer folks. So yeah, it just felt right. Like they could be gender fluid if you really wanted to like label them, but I kind of just like to leave it open. I think it's nice. I don't think labels are that important. I mean, they are important, obviously, but I don't think they have to be if you don't want your own labels to be important,
Yeah. Do you know why we named the mascot Blue?
No, I don't.
Okay, so the name of Blue is actually a reference to Blue microphones in the industry of microphones. They make their brand is actually called Blue. And so we thought, what if we named our new mascot Blue, who was a shade of blue, but indirectly didn't actually look like a microphone at all, because the microphone's always been consistent as like a thing in the background. So we decided, let's just call him Blue. Yeah. And then that'll kind of like be our little like secret.
That's cute.
Yeah.
That's really cute. I had no idea. That's so cute. That's really funny because I gave him like, he's holding the microphone in our newer like banners and stuff, and the icon. He is holding the microphone. Be fun. Yeah, that's really cute. I will say as well, the other thing which I was going to mention, I forgot, was that I was thinking a lot about broadcast as well, like the mascot for media.
Yeah.
Because I love broadcast as a mascot. It holds a special place in my heart. I thought they were so fun to draw, and they were an angel dragon. They were designed by Telephone, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and the name,
so cool.
I'm surprised she allowed us to have the name. So according to Telephone's rules, you can't name your Dutch Angel Dragon anything to do with like audio, any type of like names that have to do with like music or like recording software. So like she was Telephone, her husband, I can't remember his name. And then there's Broadcast. And so we got a special permission to have his name be Broadcast.
And I loved him, but I will say I found him really hard to draw. I found him so hard to draw, but I loved the energy. I loved the energy of like the showman, the like little suit. Like I draw him with a microphone a lot because, like as if he was presenting like a show or something. I just thought it was really fun. So I tried to bring over some of that energy to how I draw Blue now. Yeah, just because it makes me happy. That's for me. That's a little treat for me.
His design now is super cute. Like,
yeah, thank you.
I think my favorite part of the whole ref sheet is the backside. Just so it's like he's kind of like short and stodgy. Like this way, he's just a cute little like backside look. This is perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
I'm very happy. I think it turned out good. And then with that all wrapped up and kind of with a new kind of idea of Blue as a character, we went back to working on banners. Woohoo! And icons, design stuff.
Because Blue is part of the look. So really to even start with any type of redesign, we'd have to redesign the mascot first before we could even start anywhere else.
Yeah, it was a good jumping off point to figure out what kind of design elements I'd like to include with the actual banner. So yeah, and then to be fair, from this point I actually went on to probably what I should have done earlier, which was looking at our current design work and critiquing it and figuring out what I didn't like, or why I didn't like it, I should say, so that I can make note to fix that.
Yeah.
Which is important. It's important to do that. And it's okay to like critique your own art and be like, why don't I like it? But as long as you make sure you're doing it productively, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, don't just sit there and be like, my art is bad. I hate it. It's the worst. Everything's terrible. But if you were to look at it and be like, I think it could be better if I was to do this, 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 and this different. And then you can go and improve those things.
Yeah, exactly.
That's helpful. It's a good way to grow as an artist. But as it happens, I've already grown as an artist since making these old ones. So there we go. But the first thing I noticed, which I did message you about pretty quickly, was that they looked very cluttered, because especially going onto our like YouTube and our Buzzsprout with the old designs, everything had our name on it. Literally everything.
Yeah.
So you would be looking on the Buzzsprout page and our name would be in like 5 places, which like is fine. You know, we love brand rep, but it's a bit much. I think you can tell who we are. You know?
So like in one of her slides here, she took a screenshot of our landing page from the Buzzsprout and she circled like 5 different areas. So like in the top left corner, it shows our podcast name. In the website, like URL, it says our name. In the banner, it says our name. In the icon, it says our name. And then of course, in the way that Buzzsprout builds the pages, it also just says our name, bam, again, right above the episodes. And I'm just like, I never realized how many times our name is there.
Yeah. And also the other thing is that every single one is a different font. Every single one is a different font.
Oh, yeah.
Which isn't helpful. Which, by the way, that banner specifically, I don't like it. I don't like that old banner. I don't like the way I did the like
it was
title
cute
in it.
For the way it was. I mean, I really liked the radio thing. That was really adorable.
Yeah, that was cute. But yeah, I didn't like the text. Though I did like I can tell that I made this when I was like, was I still in
3 when you were 3?
Uni or something? Huh?
Just kidding. When I was a young kid.
Yeah, when I was a young kid. Was I still in college at this point? Maybe not. Maybe it was after that. But I can tell that I'd learned like one trick of doing like text that I liked, and I just kept doing it everywhere, even though it actually didn't look that good looking back, which was the like 2 black boxes with like the text in white and then like the text in the middle in like a different color. And it just wasn't good. It was a moment, but it wasn't like the moment.
Well, and in some of the banners, it just didn't really work. The only banner that I think that it would actually have worked with was the YouTube one, because YouTube, it made more sense. Because YouTube like has these banners that are ginormous if you're looking at it from your TV or tablet. And so, yeah, it made sense. But when you had to apply that to, let's say, like other shorter banners, like on Twitter, Blue Sky, S12 or Facebook, the banners then become skinnier. And so it cuts off a lot of the graphic and it just doesn't really make sense. And then, of course, when you do that, it makes that title straight from the muzzle look thick and huge, which I didn't realize at the time.
Yeah, but it's okay. We learn. We grow, we learn. Also, it's the white borders for me as well on like everything. On that like text in the middle, the white.
Yeah, I did notice. Because I mean, like your outline, so you always do like an outline in your drawings, but then you had an additional white outline to everything as well too, which helped it pop. But
yeah, it was just at the time I thought it was the thing. I thought it was the moment, you know, but I've grown as a person and as an artist.
I would hope
We've grown past. We've grown past. It's okay. Everyone, listen, every artist will go through that phase where they think text with a white outline looks really good. It's okay. It's a moment. It's a moment. It's fine. It's a defining moment. It's a canon moment. But
with like cannonballs? Or like,
yeah, no.
I'm just kidding.
like canonical, like the Bible.
Shoot a cannonball at her design and just rip a hole in it and start over.
Yeah. Exactly. That's basically.
You just stuff like our old mascot in there and then just shoot this mascot out of a cannon and just totally like, you know, spread your arms out and everything and just destroy the look and then build from that.
Yeah. And then also, obviously, I mentioned it before, but there was no cohesion. Nothing matched. It felt like it was made by like 5 different people in like 5 different years. which it kind of was. So it makes sense. Except a lot of it was made by me. Everything except for like the icon was made by me, but it was over the course of like many different years. And so you could see how my art style changed, which is funny, but it's interesting, but it's not great from a design perspective.
The icon was good when it first came out, but over time it didn't really age well with the direction we were trying to go with. Yeah. And I started to struggle like how to use this design. I don't think I ever got a transparent for this particular icon. The one that Marlo had done. So I had to remove the background using a background remover, but it never gave it justice. It always like kind of cut things where it shouldn't have cut. So then when I did that, I always had to put a background on the back of it. And I had to make sure the background was either dark enough or light enough so that it didn't show any of the like cut out parts. But I never liked it.
Version. I could have made you a transparent version. I have that power.
I should have asked. I know that like you're busy though doing things, so I don't really want to like bog you down with, hey, can you make me a transparent? Sometimes I'll ask.
It's like a 2-second job. It's okay.
But like it never really settled with me. And I've always liked, I mean, Marlo did a great job for the time.
I like their art style, to be fair. I'm a big fan of their art style.
But I really love Dear Dog's art style. And so I tried to incorporate Dear Dog stuff in a lot of things, but it was using Dear Dog's stuff on top of old style, which wasn't working.
And to be fair, a lot of the assets you have from me were also like really old.
Yeah, they were. And there were, I mean, from the first time I met Dear Dog to the time where we are now, Dear's artwork has dramatically changed. Like it's improved over the time that she's been with us, which is really cool to see. Whoa. I love seeing the improvements of art, but Dear's is one of those where the artwork I have seen truly has like evolved over time. And it's super cool to see.
Yeah.
You've been with the team for how long now?
Oh, I don't know. I've stopped counting. I don't know, since some point in for media.
Yeah, a long time.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Many years, years upon years upon years.
Since I put a message in, I mean, you were, to be clear, like you were doing like a live stream Q&A.
Yeah.
It was those days when you used to do like live shows. And I put a message in the chat being like, hey, you're looking for graphic designers.
And so I was like, show me your portfolio. And you're like, I don't have a portfolio.
Oh, no, I didn't. No, I didn't tell you that because I was really terrified. I quickly made one and then acted like I'd always had it.
And I was impressed. And I was like, I'll take you.
It wasn't a good portfolio, but it worked.
Yeah.
It worked for what it needed to do.
So to this day, Dear is the oldest member of the podcast along with me. Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. Yeah.
I'm the oldest.
Yes, you made the whole thing.
But the oldest serving member is Dear Dog. So she has been there through thick and thin, through the worst and the best times.
Yeah.
And she still stays with us.
Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, well, I owe the podcast a lot. I owe space a lot. And I love the team. And I love what you guys do. I think it's really fun. It's nice. I like it. It's played a big role in where I am now as an artist, I think. So it would feel really weird if I was not part of the team, to be honest, at this point.
And it'd
feel bizarre.
She's always sending me like art that she's working on and telling me about like improvements or I'm trying this. What do you think? Kind of a thing. So our relationship has evolved a lot over the years. And so now I'm so comfortable with talking with you that I just don't care what I say because I know that you're just going to accept it. And we send each other the weirdest videos.
Yeah, I think I save all my weirdest stuff for you.
Yeah,
I'm like,
same.
Like stuff comes up that's bizarre and I'm like, no one else is going to think this is funny. Never mind, space will think it's funny.
Yeah, I'll totally get it. It's like, you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, that's a weird thought. I got to send it to Dear Dog.
And you know what? I'll love it.
Yeah, she'll love it. I send her a lot of like Furby-esque type things and weird, like dark, weird things. I'm like, she's going to get this vibe. She'll understand
I will say, I love that since recording that Furby episode, everybody sends me Furby things anytime they see them. And I love it. It brings me joy. What's funny is half the time I'm like, I've already seen it.
Right?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm there.
I went to a local con last year and I saw a Furby fursuiter. And the first thing I thought was take a picture, send it to Dear.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yes. Amazing.
Anyways, back to the topic.
Oh, yes. We've decided what not to do, which is more helpful than you would think to know what not to do. We moved on to actual final idea generation, market research, sketching, which was basically just me looking at what other podcasts have done, what other YouTube channels have done, what other furries have done, but also what other like non-furries have done. Because I do think it's important, and this is advice like as an artist as well, not just for like design stuff. I think looking outside of the fandom and learning from outside of the fandom is really important. I think my art has grown exponentially since I've started taking inspiration and learning things from outside of the fandom and not just looking within the fandom. So that's my advice. I think it's helpful. It's good. We love to see it. It can be very tempting to just focus on furry art, but it is so cool when you start expanding your horizons into like other art forms and really, really looking out and seeing what's out there.
It's very much a graphic design thought of doing things. Like a lot of the thumbnails that I create, while they're not like original pieces because I'm using the software that they have, I'm not looking at furry art to create those things. I'm looking at things that are aesthetically pleasing to look at and using that in the design.
Yeah. And also just looking at like human artists and stuff for like anatomy is really helpful, because I know we all just want to draw furries, but it is actually really helpful to do studies of humans. I'm sorry to tell everyone that sometimes we do have to draw humans and it does help.
Looking at human art, like when furries draw humans in their art, it always like, it's like when someone calls me by my real name while we're at a furry setting, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
But it can be fun. It can be fun.
But it can be fun. Yeah.
It can be fun. And it's good to learn. It's a good tool to do like anatomy studies and stuff. But yeah, so I spent some time doing that, seeing what other people have done, seeing what works, doing the same thing. Basically, I did with my own stuff of seeing what I felt works and doesn't work for other people in their design work. And then just took some notes and was like, yeah, this could be fun to incorporate. And then I just started kind of sketching, to be fair. And I figured that I wanted a design that would work preferably for all of the like banner sizes if I could, which is hard, but basically just means that I wanted all of the elements to be kind of floating in a way that we can like rearrange them to fit whatever. I did also have the idea for Buzzsprout, because Buzzsprout specifically is such a weird format. Like the banners are really weird size. I had the idea of
struggled. I'm so sorry, but I struggled so hard to nail down a dimension banner size, because I did eventually, I reached out to Buzzsprout and they kind of gave me rough like design estimates. But then when I tried to apply those design estimates to the actual application, it didn't work. And I'm like, okay, did they just give me the wrong dimensions, or do they themselves not know the dimensions?
I don't even know what dimensions I ended up using. It might have literally just been the YouTube banner size, but then like cropped to whatever they put in.
I think that's the most frustrating thing out of all the art that you've done, is that Buzzsprout, like you said, it's the weirdest thing. Didn't work. And the icon was cute, but then sometimes the icon would float above into the banner. And so it would block certain key aspects of your art.
Yeah.
I'll let you explain.
So my thought was to fix this issue and not have Buzzsprout, look bizarre, because the icon kind of goes over the banner image. So if you have anything important, it'll be mostly covered up. But it only does it sometimes, so it'll sometimes be mostly covered up. I originally was like, if I make some kind of repeating pattern to just go on there, then it doesn't matter. But then luckily, the sketch I ended up with just somehow ended up working on there. As long as I removed the text from the banner, it just worked. You know what?
Yeah.
And that's great.
That is something you struggled with too. So tell them about your thoughts of having the title on there and then not having the title on there.
It was really just, I didn't want the title in the icon. I thought it looked too busy.
Yeah.
But I did want it on the banner just so it was somewhere within our design stuff. So you can see it on our YouTube. I think that's the best example of how it looks. But it just doesn't work on Buzzsprout. It just doesn't work. But it does work fine if you remove that. So I just didn't have the text on there, which is fine because it's got like the title everywhere anyway. It doesn't really need it.
No, it doesn't.
So it's fine. It's all good. We just got 2 versions. But I luckily did the thing where I did the sketch. I blocked in some like grayscale colors to kind of indicate shapes for the background, vaguely how I wanted them. Because originally my thought was, or the thought I ended up on was blue kind of floating in the clouds. Because if he's floating, he can kind of almost be lying on his back a little bit, but like not, but like in a floaty way. And then it works with the proportions, I guess, of the banner, you know, because it's got to be like a long it's got to be a long artwork, which is weird.
It's a long boy.
Yeah. Art being long is always strange because you can't draw them standing straight up because it'll only be part of them, you know?
I've never really thought about lengthwise. I know, like, if they're standing up, it's one thing, but when you turn them on their side, then it's a totally different thing, and everything changes.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never thought of it like that before.
Problem to face. Because if you want most of the design in, they cannot be upright, which I'm sure some people would love. But that's not the kind of art we're trying to make.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided doing a little floaty pose. He's got a microphone in his hand. Yeah, he's just been all cool. I added some sparkles, but I didn't end up adding them in the final thing. Text to the side and our slogan, which originally I actually added. I think I just had anything but straight written underneath, straight from the muzzle, right?
Yeah, you did eventually one time.
And you were like, no, that's not right.
Because the tagline is not anything but straight. The tagline is where we're anything but straight.
That was just me trying to be lazy.
And that bugged me because I'm like, if I'm going to say no to Deer Dog, it's going to be no on this specific thing.
Yeah, that's fine. I'd rather you tell me. I want to be told, you know? And I do think you are right, to be clear. I think you are fully right. So I love it. I would rather you tell me that stuff. If there's anything you're not happy with, I would like to be told, you know? Because I'm just one person. It's easy to miss things. But yeah, that was me trying to be lazy and being like, I could fit it easier into the space if it's written like this. And Space said, no, you cannot be lazy.
No, you got to do it. If you're going to do it right, you got to do it right.
I said, I guess I won't be lazy.
Well, and it's interesting that you point that out. So, like, when I tell people about our podcast, it's weird because I don't just say the name. I don't just say Straight from the Muzzle. I tell them, oh, yeah, we do a podcast called Straight from the Muzzle, where we're anything but straight. Like, I literally say that tagline as if it's part of the title itself. And I've never said it without it, but I like saying it like that because I feel like it makes it different. People are like, oh, it's a podcast. But I'm like, I want to make it clear that it's a podcast where no one on our team truly isn't what you think they are.
Yes, everyone is queer.
Yeah, in some form.
We need to be
some
clear.
Shape or form. Yeah.
You will not find any cishets here.
No, I mean, I think the most straight person, I think, would maybe be Crow.
Ooh.
Rim, I think Rim has shown or said something about maybe being curious, but they've... I don't know. He's the one that's going to be editing this episode, so we'll find out.
So he could be he could be the token cishet.
Yeah, he'll tell us.
What an honor.
He always pops in and says something, so I'm sure he'll say something to this.
Woohoo! Listen, we all need one, unless he's not, in which case, never mind, we don't need him.
Hello. So, no, I'm not the token cishet here. I'm actually demisexual, which is part of the asexual umbrella. But Space, you are right in that I am questioning in a way. I've recently been experimenting with he, they pronouns. So, there you go. I'm fully committed to the slogan.
But yeah, we did that. Or I did that. I sketched it in. Weirdly hard to place the text with the pose that I did, but I figured it out. And I just... sorry, I lost my train of thought.
I do that to people. I'm sorry.
But yes, long story short, I figured out if I remove the text, it works on Buzzsprout. A sick, simple, easy solution. We love to see it. But everywhere else has the text. Blue is floating amongst the clouds, looking all magical and stuff. I don't know why I decided to go for the clouds. I just thought it would look cool, to be honest. I just thought it'd be a vibe.
I'm just going to take a look. That's not the one I was thinking of. Apparently, when you type in SFTM into YouTube, it pulls up a completely different brand that uses
there we go.
Our name. That's lame.
Ooh, we have a
How
competitor.
dare you?
There can be only one. We have to fight to the death.
I'm going to sue them. I'm just kidding. I won't. I don't have the money.
Oh, yeah. It's a little... I mean, to be fair, it's fine. Yeah. They're fine. They look chill.
See the picture. Nice. Okay. Anyways.
So yeah, we did that. I sketched it. I sketched the icon and I thought it looked really good together. I thought it looked really nice. So I decided to just go ahead with it. I think I did actually sketch some other ideas, but I didn't include them in my notes just because I didn't like them. They were fine, but I felt like they were going to have the same issue where each element wasn't necessarily like a whole thing. they were would be like weirdly cut off, or they like would have to be very specifically positioned, whereas I wanted everything to be floating. That was my one thing. I just wanted nothing to have to be like specifically placed on like the edge of a banner or something. I just wanted it all to be its own thing, so I didn't have to worry about it. We could take those assets and use them elsewhere and move them around as we need. And then I started messing around with color. Woohoo!
Yeah, the color, we've always had, well, Deer Dog introduced the rainbow kind of aspect.
Yes, because we're
a while
gay.
ago. Because we're gay as fuck.
Yes, and it feels important.
It is important, especially since we do Pride-themed episodes every year. And that's kind of like one of my favorite times of the year when podcasting. So the rainbow had to be essentially in the design somewhere, but it had to be there.
Yeah, I was determined. To get it in that. And also, I will say, a big part of me going for like the cloud kind of sky theme that I was originally thinking of, it didn't really end up being that so much. But my original thought was, I could put a rainbow in the clouds. That's where they go.
Yeah.
If it was in the sky, rainbow goes up there. Makes sense.
Right.
But the problem... well, no, okay. First of all, I lined the artwork. I did all that. And I've been messing around with a new line art style for a while now. I don't know whether it's really noticeable, but it's noticeable to me. So I used that for this one. It actually ended up looking kind of, when I say stiff, not in a bad way, but like, you know, ended up looking a lot cleaner, but it means I can draw a lot more dynamically, I think, which is nice. It's a little more messy than my previous one, but you really couldn't tell looking at like the final things. It doesn't look messy, but it is a lot more loose than what I used to do. It doesn't take as long, which is good, because my old line art used to take forever. And the thing is, so I wanted to do these clouds that he was floating in, right? I wanted it to like kind of make the silhouette all nice, and like I wanted them to like frame him in the composition and have it look all pretty. The problem is with that is that our colors are like yellow, green, blue. And if you have yellow and green clouds,
it looks weird.
It looks either like farts or like
Did you say farts?
Weed. Yeah, it looks like fart clouds or weed clouds.
Yes. Oh my God, yes.
I don't want fart or weed.
I totally get that now.
Yeah.
I feel like the second image without the rainbow totally looks like a fart.
Yeah, and I didn't want that for us, respectfully. I'm sure some people would love that for us. I would not love that for us.
I mean, as an inside joke, that's hilarious. If you had told me, yeah, I love this. By the way, the background was inspired by farts, I would have laughed my ass off.
It was completely accidental. It was as I was doing it, I added the colors, and then I was like, no, I've done green clouds. Oh, I can't do green clouds. I can't have clouds be green. Either that or he's getting real high. It's one or the other.
And I don't mind like weed clouds, but I don't necessarily want to be like 100%
no, that's not our brand.
With it. That's not our brand. If you want to do it, great. I support you in it, but that's not the look that we're going for.
The vibe. It's a vibe. It's not our vibe.
That's so great.
You see what I mean, though? Like in the images,
I do.
It really, it's unfortunate.
And then the first one kind of looks like a weird, like, it's kind of like bushy.
Yeah.
And so the clouds, they're not really, it doesn't vibe in that
They don't look like clouds.
The second one, the clouds do work, but the colors aren't quite there.
Yeah. And I also just think it felt all of the tones were like the same. Like when I made it grayscale, it all just looked the same. Tonally, it looked very flat. It looked very flat.
The grayscale though.
It looked cool looking. It looked cold. Yeah, the grayscale was when I tweaked it. But the first like passes with like just like the yellow to green, or like the yellow, it's like a light tealy green. It looked very cold, and it looked very like flat. It wasn't doing what I needed it to do. It was not giving. I also really had to think for a bit about how to include that rainbow, because having it be like an arch like towards the top, that's fine, but you can't see it in most of the banners.
Yeah.
Which is like, what's the point? I tried doing just like a solid stripe along the bottom, because that was what I did on those business cards I made a while ago, and everyone liked them. So I was like, let's try that. But it also felt too like solid. It looks
like, if I'm looking at it, it looks like he's sitting on a beam.
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't look natural either.
So then I decided, let's just try doing it as a big thing and then making it soft. And I think that looked really nice. And I think I put it in some kind of layer style. I can't remember which one. I just messed around with it until it looked good. And then I was like, ooh, that actually looks really nice. And for a bit, there was a moment where I thought that like fourth one, like the one where it has like the
farts in the background.
I for a bit I was like, maybe this is done, but it just didn't feel right. It felt too flat. It didn't feel good. So I was like, okay, let's just mess around with the tones. As I messed around with the tones and I added more blue into it. I also decided to mess with textures. I got some texture brushes. I added some like painty textures, which I think made it look really nice. I love a texture. I love a textured gradient. I think it looks good.
I think it's cool. Like if I look at the Buzzsprout banner right now, the texture is interesting because like on the very right-hand side, it kind of gives me like the texture of like textured paper.
Yeah, that's it.
Like the thin, like not the thin, like kind of like the thick, handmade kind where the edges aren't perfectly cut, but you can feel it and people want to paint on that kind of a thing. I see that and that's really cool. Yeah. The rainbow. I wanted to ask you about the brush that you use on the rainbow side because it feels like it's a really interesting mix between a light misted spray paint meets smoke.
What, the actual rainbow?
Yeah, like the actual rainbow.
I literally did it solid and then just Gaussian blurred it.
Oh, that's so cool.
And then I messed around with, I can't remember, I can probably find out what layer style I used pretty easily. I just messed around with layer styles until it looked good. Let's see. Which one are you? I put it to color. I set the layer style to color.
Okay.
On Procreate. I don't know what it is on Photoshop. I assume they have a equivalent.
I think that's such a funny name. Every time anyone ever mentions Procreate, the first thing I think of is baby making. Yep. By the way, I do all of this in Procreate on an iPad. I like it. It's good. It's the only Apple device I use. And I would have never guessed that you use, I know that you use a tablet, but I think a couple years ago when you said, oh yeah, I draw this on a tablet, I'm like, what?
Because I previously did have, because I've still got like a big drawing, an actual one that your drawing tablet plugs into your PC.
Yeah.
I've still got one of those. I just don't use it because I prefer using my iPad now for
probably
everything.
More convenient and comfortable.
Yeah, it's good. And I like the brushes. I think Procreate's come a long way and I think it's really cool. So I use it.
That black and white one though, like when you created the grayscale, it's got a very like noir type feel to it. I almost feel like when I see it, I want us to kind of do like an old school, like, I went into the detective and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Just like that whole setting. That's like a really cool aesthetic. And do you still have that as a...
No, but I can make it. It's literally just the background, but with the hue set all the way down. It's just a grayscale version of the current background so I can see the tones.
If you could create one just for me, I might use that as my desktop background because it's so cool looking.
Yeah, I can do that. No prob. I will do that after this.
And are you cool if the viewers can see these images too?
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, I don't care.
We can lock the thing so that they can't play with it, but they can see it.
Yeah, I mean, we probably would need to make another version because I don't want them to be able to see my personal email.
Yeah, we can put it on the straight from the muzzle drive.
Yeah, I'll do what I did before, which is, don't worry about it. I'll do it. I don't explain my techniques in case there's flaws to them.
Tell me about the expressions here.
Oh, the icons.
I don't remember you, and then maybe you did, and I just didn't say anything.
I didn't show you that first one because I made it and I hated it.
I don't like it either.
I didn't like it. No,
it doesn't
didn't look great.
vibe.
No, this is a good example of delete your art, which is something I stole from Drawfee. And Drawfee sippers will know. Sometimes you make art and it's bad, and you just say, I can do better. And that's okay. You can, sunk cost fallacy, forget it. Even if you spent time on it, if you feel like you could do it better, just do it better. Try. You don't have to literally delete the old one, but you can try again on a new file and then see. And if the old one ends up looking worse, then you can just be like, cool, I never need to use that again.
I just feel like the first one doesn't really match the style that you have going.
No.
It's more shaded. It's more specific. Honestly, it's a style that maybe I've seen you do once or twice, like in the past, but it's not one that I particularly favor.
No, I've been messing around with my style a lot overall lately. I feel like I've hit a kind of a new era of my style, which is reflected in this, which I think is fun. And that was an example of me messing around and just being like, let's see if I can do this. Because I thought using a thicker line art style would be fun. I didn't like it. And also, I think that version of the sketch had some issues that I didn't realize until I lined it and colored it and shaded it. So basically, I did the whole thing and then was like, I don't like it. So I went back, I took that sketch again and I just redid it. I just fixed all the issues because there was some like weird anatomy issues. The face looked kind of squished. The hand placement doesn't look right. The microphone is just like too close to the face. So you can't really see the silhouette of the character right. It's not giving what I wanted it to give. And so I just didn't show anyone.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, so this is when I usually look at certain like icons, or I guess you could say not icons, attitudes or positions, I kind of add a sound to it, and the sound I get from each one is dramatically different. So like the first one, because of the way that they're winking, it kind of looks like it's like a kind of like a thing. And I'm like, I don't want people to necessarily think that when they see us. But when I see this one, I think of like, kind of like a different thing. And I'm like, okay, the here feels like it's more cute and it draws me in, where the other one does the opposite.
And I will say, I also did so that first icon that I ended up not using, I did before I did the banner.
Oh, okay.
So then I ended up using a different, which I didn't like it, but I was like, I'm just going to go and work on the banner now. And so when I did the line art for the banner and like the shading and everything on the character, I did it differently, and I liked it a lot because it was something I'd been messing around with in like some other artwork I'd done. And then I went back and used that for the new version of the icon, like the final version, and it looked a lot better. So yeah, there we go. Sometimes you just need to step away from a thing and just go back to it in a few days and then fully redo it.
This took you how long? Like before you settled on this particular design?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I wasn't really counting. Quite a while. It took us a while.
I always ask the hard questions.
Yeah, I don't really keep track. When did you first?
I looked in the message history, and I see one where we talked about a redesign back in April of 25, but I feel like the idea did spawn earlier than that, so probably around January or February.
And to be fair, there's also one that's not in there that was a whole other icon that I did. So I made like 3 full colored shaded icons for us.
Well, now you have to show me the other. Do you not have it anymore?
I think I did show that one, but I just didn't say that I intended it for it to be an icon because I wasn't that happy with it. So I just showed you the drawing. I was like, here's a cute drawing. Because I like the drawing, I just don't like it as an icon. That's simple. Which, once again, delete your art. It's okay. Not every drawing is a banger.
I'm wondering if it's this one. Is it this one?
Wait, I can send you a screenshot. I've got it here. Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, it's that one. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, that's a cute one.
Yeah,
and I would have been okay with that one too.
Yeah, it's cute. I just didn't feel like it was what I was going for. That's different. The other one that I said I didn't use, it was because I wasn't happy with how the artwork turned out. This one I was happy with it, but I wasn't happy with it for an icon, if that makes sense.
And the icon, if I'm looking at it like side by side, the one that we chose to go with as opposed to this one that I just sent you, the one that I just sent you, it has more edge to every movement. So she creates like these sharp edges around the ear. The ear still loops around like soft wise, but then there's these like, you can tell that there's edges there. Whereas the one that she created for us that we use now, it's a much softer rounded edge as opposed to like a sharp.
And it's interesting because I actually use you wouldn't know it, but I actually use a looser brush now to do these ones. I use a brush like with some opacity sensitivity. And for anyone who's used Magma, like the drawing program you can use online, it's basically a copy of the egg brush that I made in Procreate. Because I really like the egg brush, which is a really like loose kind of brush with like opacity sensitivity and like all this stuff. So I do that and then I just duplicate it to make the lines more solid and then I color them, which is interesting.
So final thoughts.
Yeah. Final thoughts. I am happy I did it. I think it turned out good.
It's good.
Yeah.
And I like that you did add the blues, the darker blue hues. That does make it less farty.
It does make it less farty. Yeah, which is really what I was going for. I was going for less farts, more kind of floating through a magical void, you know?
And it's, when we look at this final one, it's different. Like if you look at it from our original designs from years ago, it's a completely like pivot of direction. And I like that. We wanted to pivot into something different anyways.
Yeah, and I think it's given me some confidence that whenever we next decide to redo our stuff, which I think we won't leave it as long, you know, it's given me more confidence that I can do it now, which is good.
And it takes time. Like as you mentioned, like we started last year And then it wasn't until like the end of the year that we actually had a design.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it is for most companies out there. They don't just, I mean, they have marketing teams, they have design teams and stuff, but they don't ever just settle on the first design. Like it takes a long time to come up with just a good design overall. And that's what we wanted to do. I didn't want to rush it. I wanted it to be natural, and I wanted Deer to bring out the best in herself.
Yeah, which is good. I'm very proud of myself. I think I did pretty good. And like I say, it's always kind of scary for me to do more graphic designy kind of work. I think doing the degree, even though I did well in my degree, I think I just got really burned out of doing graphic design stuff. You know, it wasn't fun to me anymore. I didn't feel like I was very good at it. So getting back into it has actually been really fun. It's been cool all these years later to be like, actually, it can be fun, and I can be kind of good at it sometimes. It's nice. I like it.
You did a really good job.
Yay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I know this episode was all about the redesign, but it's a really cool creative process. The slideshow that you guys will get to see, you'll get to see it like step by step. You'll see the reference images, the kind of critiquing of our old designs, the generation of market research, which market research is a really interesting thing to go into anyways. So if you're ever looking to like redesign your fursona, it's kind of like the same thing. You know, you go in there and you see what everyone else is doing, and then you think, oh, what if I did it this way? Kind of a thing. You start playing around with it.
Yeah, and it's not like, obviously you're not like trying to make a carbon copy of anyone's thing. You're not like trying to steal anything or whatever, but it's important to take inspiration from external sources.
Yeah.
It's good.
Exactly.
Whoa.
Any final words?
Ooh. Nah, just, draw more, have fun, make stuff. It's good.
Draw fan art of our stuff.
Yeah.
We'll
and then you can be on the show.
Yeah.
And also we'll repost it. Woohoo. And also join the Telegram because I'm always in there.
And speaking of art too, I said it in like the first episode for this season, and I still mean it. We're kind of still playing around with the idea, but I really want to get back into featuring artists on each of our episodes, one or two of them. So I'll put this out there to you guys. If you're an artist and you want to have your artwork showcased, whether you're starting out, or you're mid-range, or you're out there, but you think that you could use a little bit more traffic, send us an email at talktothemuzzle@gmail.com. In the subject line, put featured artists so that I know to put it in a specific box, and then I can start looking into what it is that you would like to have featured. You could either just leave it to me to feature whatever, or you could have specific things. But it's a nice gesture. I think it's a great way to give back to the community as opposed to charging someone to be on our podcast, which I don't like the idea of people doing that. So
no, we ain't like that.
Word of mouth advertising, I feel like it is the most free, but it is also the fastest spreading way of advertising out there. So I think it's a good thing. So if you're an artist and you want to get your name out there, great. Those who are fans of art, don't send me an email saying, yeah, I want to have art featured. That's art that I've commissioned. No, I don't want art that you've commissioned. No. I want the artist who made the art.
Yeah.
Yay. And then in general, you guys can always just email us and whatever. You can follow us on, I'm just going to say Blue Sky now and not really mention the other one just because I'm kind of feeling maybe we should just shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't really like the way that it's going.
No, it's bad vibes.
Yeah, it's really bad vibes. And we mostly use Telegram. So if you really want to join in and have fun, we use the Telegram chat.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for walking us through your artistic process. This is fun. I also haven't had a chance to really talk with Dear Dog in a long time, so this is always joy.
This is my yearly random episode where I pop up,
Oh, like the one time.
Yeah.
Well, it's also hard too because you live on the other side of the world. So I have to calculate time on my end to calculate that it works for her on her end. And I always like to work around other people's schedules. So I'll do whatever it takes. I think I've even gotten up one time at 4:00 in the morning for an episode that was 4 p.m. in the afternoon for someone else. I had to do it, but it was still a joy. So it was a lot of fun talking with you.
Yeah, it's been good.
All right, folks. Well, thanks for listening in. And if you ever have questions about redesigns or graphic arts, you can always reach out to Dear in the chat, or you can send us an email and I can always forward it on to her and see what she thinks. All right. Well, everyone have a great day and we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.